The University of California, UC system, is the most applied to institution in the entire world. So you can imagine how competitive it is, and the applications just opened. And I'm sure you're wondering how best to tackle this essays. Actually, it's PIQ, personal insight questions. So we'll be discussing just that. So stay tuned. Hey, I'm Tiffany Fu. I'm a college and career consultant. I've been helping hundreds of families over the past decade navigate the college application process, and professionals as well as students such as yourselves, and helping them figure out their career ambitions as well. I have an e-learning course covering all things about the college application process, anywhere from figuring out what you want to major in, to building your college list, to essays, resume development, and common mistakes to avoid. So go ahead and subscribe to our email list, since I'll let you know once it's live. Additionally, I have a live webinar that's going to be taking place on August 17th from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you're interested in joining, go ahead and find the link down below, and we'll go ahead and share more information on how to log in. Now that we got all that information out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's start with what the UC system is looking for overall. They mention in their website very directly that they look at comprehensive review, which means they don't just look at your grade point average and what you ranked at in your school, but also what you did outside the classroom and the qualities that you're going to bring to their campus. Here are the 13 factors within their comprehensive review, but I won't walk you through all of them. What we're going to focus on is the parts that you should likely talk about in your essays. And I recommend to write about your experiences outside of the classroom more so than inside, since a lot of other students are in school with you and it's just not a unique essay topic. I want you to focus on point number 10, special talents, achievements, and awards. There's a lot of different topics that you can probably write about for this one. If you feel like you don't have much information that you can share from point 10, you can also look at point number 8, which is achievements in a special project. Most students have a very unique project that they've worked on and are super proud of that they can speak to. And we'll highlight the different qualities that I recommend that you really lean into when you're writing your essays in just a moment. And last but not least, the academic accomplishments in light of life experiences. The UC system oftentimes values equity, which means the quality of being fair and impartial and helping the underserved and underprivileged be at a level playing field. Before we talk about which prompts to choose, we need to learn a little bit more about what you've been up to throughout your high school career. So write a resume document, and this is going to be helpful for you when you start your activities section, extracurricular, or your award sections for your UC apps. And it's much easier for you to start a document and input it later into the portals once it opens versus doing it directly into the portal. There's going to be a character count limit, all that sorts, but for the sake of this resume and to get more information and remember what you've been doing, you can just start a document. Tailor it basis off of what title you've had, what organization, additionally, what type of impact you had. So that's the responsibility you had and what are the results. Basis off of this extensive list, you can start thinking about what you want to write to highlight those qualities we just mentioned within the UC system, the 13 points, which once again is usually leadership, community aspects, and how you overcame adversity. You can pause this video in order to start that document. Alternatively, I would assume you're probably just gonna go through this whole video. Let's move on to the prompts, and I'll let you know which ones are my favorite. Huge disclaimer here, these are just my personal favorites. You can totally write about whatever else you'd like, and I'm just highlighting the ones that will be more directly capable of answering the UC officers' questions about the leadership aspect and adversity and community building. But as you can see, all these questions highlight those 13 qualities that the UC system's looking for. Okay, the first obvious one is leadership prompt. And it's about all those lessons and successes that you've had from leading a project or your peers, anything in that capacity. It doesn't need to be an official leadership role. So it doesn't have to be that you are president of your class or a club, for instance. You could be a leader at your home or within your community. I especially like this prompt because it is directly about leadership and it's just much easier for the UC officers to understand. Second prompt is about creativity, and this can be just about anything. Oftentimes, students think it can be about art, athletics, that's the traditional stuff. I recommend you challenge yourself to think about other unique qualities and abilities that you do have. And I've seen students talk about their ability to mediate a very sticky situation amongst their family. That's a great skill to have, that's intrinsic. Another was collecting shoes and how shoes are able to bring out the creativity in you. It was a very unique style and I liked that. So this one could be a good one. Third is either a skill or a talent. And this is a special ability that you've developed over time. So the key here is you've been doing it for a while. It shouldn't just be a 6-week long project and you develop that skill just then, but don't continue it. I've seen students write about that and that's a no-no. So pay attention to that pitfall. The next one is about educational barrier or opportunity. And this is a sticky one. Educational barrier, students kind of think of it as, wow, I had a B in a class or a C and I'm not proud of it. I wouldn't recommend necessarily writing about that. I would save that for the additional comment section for the academic side because I personally wouldn't want to highlight something that is not that bad, honestly, a C or a B. But if it was something that was extremely difficult due to personal trials and tribulations, that could be a good option. But once again, you have an option within the additional comment section. And then for the opportunity side, I've seen students write about great opportunities that was really unique. Try that out. But if it's like quite general and it's like a paid program that half of your school did, maybe not the best unless you've learned a lot from it that was quite unique. The next one is about challenges. And clearly, I think you should write about this if you have a challenge that you overcame, you're proud of, you learned a lot from it because it directly correlates to all the qualities that the UC system is looking for, being able to overcome adversity. The next one is about an academic passion. This is perfect for the students that know exactly what they want to major in, and especially if it's a competitive major, this is your opportunity to stand out. So choose this one if you know exactly what you want to do. Another prompt is about community, and I would recommend definitely writing about this one. This is one of my favorites, especially for the students that are involved within community service. And when I say community, it doesn't necessarily need to be like an official like Interact Club, Key Club, CSF, NHS, all that. It can be outside of school groups. And when you're writing about this, make sure that you highlight the specifics of the results that you've done and the significance of it as well. Okay, last but not least is prompt number 8, which is pretty much like a free-for-all. Only choose this one if you absolutely could not find anything else to write about in the other 7 prompts. I say that because the admissions officers can sense if your essay could have fit in another prompt, and that's not a good look since it seems like you didn't put much effort into reading all the prompts. Okay, now that you've went through all the prompts with me and have the different activities you've worked on, you can start fitting in which ones will make the most sense within each prompt. And obviously, your resume that you've put together doesn't just stop there. You can talk about a lot of intrinsic experiences, revelations that you've had outside of your activities. I know this was short and sweet. The UC system PIQs are going to be a lot more thought and revisions, but my advice to get started is to copy and paste the prompt on the document, or if you're writing freehand, on your piece of paper, and make sure that you highlight the key words. And I say that because I see time and time again, students forget what the prompt is. They say they remember, oh, it's prompt number 6 I wrote about. It's, something of the sorts, but you didn't actually answer the question. And the way to solve for that is to always be looking at it, checking back to ensure you're answering it. The UC admissions officers will spend, I kid you not, no more than 10 to 15 minutes on your entire application. They're skimming. So being as direct as possible at times and answering the prompt is going to pay off. And then second tip is to ensure that when you're thinking about what to write, you answer the prompt in 2 to 3 sentences, just point blank, and then build your talking points around it. I guarantee you this is such a good process because that way you can kind of backwards plan to make sure that the point that you just wrote to answer the prompt is having evidence to back it up. And another mistake to avoid is to not procrastinate. I say this all the time on this channel because we as humans get really nervous. And once we analyze all the work that we have to do, we get paralyzed. It's called paralysis by analysis. Don't let that be you. Try to cut up all of your tasks into bite-sized pieces and tackle it day by day. Just chip away and you'll be able to get to the results that you want. And if you want to take this a step further, go ahead and subscribe to my email list down below because I can share with you what each UC system is looking for in particular. If you're not applying to all the UCs and you want to know exactly what UCLA, UC Berkeley, and many more are looking for. All right, don't forget about the event coming up August 17th. It's the free webinar that I'll be going over the entire college application process, common mistakes to avoid, and I'll be offering free proofreading for students that are interested in getting their essays proofread in the session. And I'm so excited for the E-Series course that's coming out soon. If you are interested in learning more about it, go ahead and subscribe to my email list down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you next time.